Hello, everyone. I'm Plasmoy, or as me like to call me, that guy with the afro. Usually, when I do these reviews, I'm reviewing the basic overall convention and how it actually functions and what kind of stuff you should expect. This time around, however, I'm not going to do that. I'm a convention volunteer, so this time I want to actually talk about what the convention volunteer thing is worth, in particular about DragonCon. Now, allow me to explain something right off the bat. I am not speaking for the convention itself. I'm not speaking for the volunteer team. I am not speaking for the safety group, which I'm a part of. I'm not speaking for anybody else. I'm speaking as this guy, that one guy in his bedroom with a webcam. That's it. That's all. You can say anything else you want to about the convention, but I am strictly talking about volunteering for DragonCon. What do you want to talk about elsewhere? Fine with me. I'm just going to get down to the point about what you should expect, if it's really a good take for you. It's really going to be up to you generally to if you want to volunteer for convention. I typically say most conventions will be happy to have you, but let me start off with the basic point. The convention is pretty much six total areas, five hotels, and a private retail area that basically sections off for the gaming in the dealer's room. It's about six total city blocks. You have a big block of everything all together, and you have to keep moving from point to point. So you're going north, south, east, west constantly, and it's not always centralized. For instance, the Sheraton is probably the furthest away hotel you can get from all the others, and that has all your registration. So most people will start there. Depending on what area you go to, you're going to be moving around a lot. So I would very much suggest, before you think of anything else, pick a hotel, pick a group that you want to work with, and centralize yourself in that hotel for that group. Otherwise, you're going to keep moving around constantly, multiple places and multiple times, and it's going to strain you. You're still going to have to move. You're going to be walking from place to place. There's no question about it. But at least that way, you don't have to move around from one spot to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. You know what you're getting. You're getting yourself familiarized with that one hotel or that one group, and you're able to do a lot more because of it. So, cost is always important. And I mean, from the very word go, you've got to think about not just the financial cost, but the manpower cost. Take your biggest anime convention you've probably been to in the last, say, year, and multiply that by four. That's how many people you get at DragonCon for DragonCon. There are other things going on as well. There's college football happening during this time. There are some other little here and there moments, basically, with the fact that you're going to be dealing with one or two different colleges in the area. I know Georgia State is very close, and Georgia Tech isn't too far off. So you got a lot of people in a span of that much space to really deal with. You can really take care of this very easily if you think about, here you are, and here's everything else. And that's just for one convention. As terms of costing you to get in as a volunteer, it's a one-time fee of $20, one-time administration fee, and that's it. It doesn't matter at all. As long as you're in good standing with the convention, doesn't matter if you take a year off, 5 years off, 20 years off, as long as you were in good when the last time you went from that convention to somewhere else is, you can go back and volunteer. It's actually a good idea. Just pay a one-time fee and then not have to worry about it ever again. So for your rookie year, you're basically saving yourself, at least, depending on when you actually have this volunteer point, $65 for the whole year. And that alone is a big bonus in terms of saving money. I would not say you're doing this to get paid back, and I'll get to that point in a moment. But at the very least, you take out that cost immediately. Let's take a look up at the hours, though. The hours are pretty much, you're typically asked, depending on what group you go with and what department you're in, about 15 to 20 hours. That seems like a lot, but remember, you're spanning this out over the course of 5 days realistically, not four anymore. It's not Friday to Monday. They have events going on Thursdays now. So a lot of people like to get there on Wednesday. It's a bigger event than you're used to. That really does help the fact that I have a 6 hour per convention day rule. If they go over that, they're kind of overworking you. So I can understand that's actually a positive. You're at most, I'll get to that point, looking at 4 to 5 hours per convention day. Now, you're trying to look at it in terms of what money you're losing if you're actually going to work for the weekend. You say, assume you're $10 an hour, maybe more, maybe less, but let's get that as a basic mark. After taxes, that means if you do 15 hours, probably around $110 net pay, roughly. You know, that seems like a lot, but once you get to a 25-hour mark, you're available to do what they call dead dog. It's an after party made for the volunteers itself. And it provides you with a three-course dinner from the Hyatt, the hotel in that area. Now, you might be thinking, oh, this is just one of those sandwich. No, they actually cater an elegant three-course dinner. It's salad, whatever entree they have, and the dessert, and it's really nice. They reward prizes out as well. So it's a very good thing to take into consideration. You get at least one meal for sure that you wouldn't normally get anywhere else at the hotel and convention's expense. So I've got to be honest with you, that's a positive terms of cost. Here's kind of a not positive, not negative kind of thing, but this is a party con. It's a humongous party con. Everyone knows this. Yeah, they may say they have panels, and they do. They may say they have events, and they do. But you're going out there, you're seeing a lot of people drinking it up, having fun, and there's nothing wrong with that, not at all. Because in this case, unlike other cons that strictly party cons, these people are very generous. I mean, good-natured people. I don't mean they're going to give you $5 just because you showed up. I'm not expecting to get paid for convention work. Let's be honest. But in general terms, they come up with probably the coolest people in the entire world. Even when they're drunk, they're like really respectful and really nice. Let me contrast that with another convention I used to work with, San Japan, that happens on the same weekend. Um, I'm going to be straight honest with you. A lot of people were not drunk, and they were highly disrespectful toward me as a volunteer. And I'm just trying to do my job. I'm not trying to complain about, hey, you're doing that. I don't like doing that. I'm just trying to tell you what needs to be done. And typically, I don't mind being in the crosshairs. Me, okay. But a lot of the time, it's just like, no, 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 we don't like what you're saying. And I'm talking about the staff, in fact. One, if you recall a few videos ago, my Senator Japan Doesn't Care video, part two, apparently I'm not sure if they were a staff member. They said they were friends with the staff. I don't know. I don't care. Really did try to make some points. I have that email still, by the way, if you want to see that, about how negative everything was about me. I don't care about me. Look, guys, I'm just going to straight up say it, and the realistic point of view, don't be a jerk is pretty much don't be a jerk. And I've never had that problem with DragonCon. DragonCon's people are very friendly, very positive. Even when they're drunk, they're good drunks. I mean, I'm be honest with you. I mean, it's a party con, but it's a fun party con. Here's another neutral point, though. It's not positive or negative. It's called the volunteer village. And if you volunteer for a lot of conventions, you understand that a lot of the times they will provide you with basic meals. I mean, you're not getting filet mignon every day. It's like a sandwich and some chips and some soda. Okay, cool. But there's volunteer village is a place for most of the volunteers to go kind of mellow out, cool down, charge their phones. On paper this sounds great, but they don't provide the actual meals for you. And when you're in a highly mobile position like safety, like I usually am, that's not always a good thing. And they said, oh, well, it's going to cost us more if we provided the meals for the volunteers. Yeah, it's supposed to. You're supposed to take care of the people who work with you. I'm not saying they should do that entirely. I'm just saying, but there's already an area called the con suite where anybody can go into and get a basic meal for free. It's not charging you anything. They're really nice there too. I actually met one of the people who do the morning shift, and I appreciate what they do because they take care of the entire convention. So the volunteer village, in my opinion, really is there. It helps, but it's not a necessity. You don't need to be there if you're on the move constantly. It really just feels like it's there, but you can do that somewhere else. Move along. Here's the real problem about this convention, and I don't know if I can say this with a positive or negative attitude. I just feel like uh, this is something you need to think about. Even though they have 5 hotels, several branching other out there. I mean, you can go to one hotel down the street and be within 10 minutes walking distance. That's how much room this place has typically. There's no crash space offered at all. Now, I understand, you can't be that much of a cost. Think about it. Your cost goes up exponentially. You got about 1,000 to 2,000 people needing crash space. But on the same instance, everyone has to deal with it. And unfortunately, the problem with this is the convention really has you have to plan a year in advance because everyone's going at the same time. So everyone's looking into what kind of crash space they have. And there are places in on Facebook, particularly also, you could look around and see for crash space. They offer it pretty decently. But some people have to pay about around $2,000 total. I mean, they can get other people in for the course of the whole convention. That's a lot of money, and you don't get reimbursed that. That's everyone's going to have a lot of cost. The convention doesn't even give you a discounted version. So it's kind of hard to really say yes if you're just planning about it, say in May or June. I did that once, and thankfully things worked out for me. The first year I went, it was a learning experience, but you need to really plan wisely and understand the situation that you're in. Now, I believe though, DragonCon, something you might not normally think about. Hey, this might not be worth it because of the costs you have to put into, but the feeling and the emotion of the people there are much better. Heck, I'm going to straight up say it right now. I don't care if San Japan offers me a staff position. There is no way I'm ever going to work with that convention that way ever again with all the negativity they've given me over the past 7 years. I'd rather be working with an outside group or just get a gold pass and say, you know what, if we have a problem, I'm going to let the world know about it. That's what I believe. But in terms of DragonCon, I don't have any toxic nature. There is no negative feeling about it. It's a very positive, very enjoyable experience. You're going to have to take a little bit of money out of you. It cost me around $500 with all my expenses, travel, lodging, food, etc., etc. And I can negate a few $100s, but I'm not going to negate all of the money that would take off of it. Also, you got to remember this is Labor Day weekend. So if you're one of those people who like to take off for it already, congratulations. There you go. There's your vacation plan. No problem there. Overall, I just feel like even though this is a good convention and you'll have a positive experience, the staff are friendly. I've never had a problem really with an attendee. Even then, if there was, we resolved it like in 5 seconds. Like, okay, cool, dude. Sorry about that. You're going to want to have some experience because the size is just massive. You're going to have a lot of people and a very confined space. So if you're going there year one, day one as a volunteer, you're going to get run over. I'm just going to have to be honest with you. Go to a local convention and get a little bit of experience and then work your way up to this massive, massive convention. And it's a fun convention. You're going to enjoy yourself. No time have I ever not liked going to DragonCon. That all being said, the question is, would I do this next year? Well, I'm going to have to be honest with you. I don't know. It's not the Colin's fault at all. In fact, quite the opposite. It's been a very good experience. The people there who are might be parties, but it's a good kind of party con. It's good kind of people. I've never had an issue with the staff. The staff are amazing. I mean, I'm going to give a shout out to Jaster and Traumahawk right now. Those guys are freaking amazing. Those guys are cool. I've never had an issue with people at the convention. The con is fun. I like going to it. I mean, I want to go back, yes, but at this point, I want to kind of go somewhere else. I want to branch out to other places. I want to do other things. And it's not really the Collins' fault. It's just I want to do more with things. And perhaps that's the biggest key about the whole con is that it's fun. You'll enjoy it, but you should think about it before you go out and take about a week of your life out of your way and deal with all that. And be honest with you, it's almost like you're going out there and having fun. It's kind of like me getting a second edition Pathfinder Core Rulebook or a second edition Pathfinder Core Rulebook. I have two? I have two of these? Huh. What am I going to do with them? Well, one I've already kept for myself. That's obvious. But this other one, I don't need it. What I should do with it? I know what I think I should do about it. You know what the next convention I'm coming up with is? Delta HCon. That will be 2 weeks from today, in fact. September 20th to the 22nd. And you know what? There's Pathfinder Society going on that weekend. I know. Surprisingly. Again, I don't know if it's the con that did it or Paizo, big deal, whatever. You know what I think I should do for that? I'm going to give this to somebody. In fact, I'm going to pack in my bag right now. But I'm not just going to give this to somebody. That would be too easy. What I'm going to say is you're going to have to do three things in order for me to just give it to you. One, you actually have to be at Delta HCon. You have to have a badge. Two, you're going to have to play a game and get a Chronicle sheet from the Pathfinder Society or the Starfinder Society or Second Edition Pathfinder Society. I don't care which one. Get a Chronicle sheet so I know you've played in it. And three, come out to see me on Sunday. I have a panel called One Very Last Get Together. I could either do it then or I could wait till closing ceremonies and hand that out. But simply put, at Delta HCon, I will be handing out a Pathfinder 2nd Edition Core Rulebook. Now, I'll try to get people to sign it, the guests and all that, but it's going to get out to somebody's hands. So like, share, and subscribe to make sure you get the word out that a 2nd Edition Pathfinder Core Rulebook will be given out in Houston, Texas in 2 weeks. But generally speaking, as for what I said about Dragon Con, think about it at least. Give it some thought and get a little experience before you take that plunge. Later.